In this video, we're going to run through how to assemble the Bluetooth speaker kit. With all of your parts laid out, you'll have the electrical kit with the battery removed, USB cable, the wireless charge receiver, wireless charging pad, the passive radiator. The different panels here, we've got a 3mm panel, a 2mm panel. We've got the front panel for the speakers, the rear panel for the radiator, two side panels, and the top panel with the holes in it. We've got a small screw and 4 longer screws. Got a hot glue gun, a screwdriver with a PH1 Phillips head. So let's start by assembling the two thin panels together. And then take the side panels and arrange everything in the order that it's going to be assembled in. And now we're going to just do a quick run through on the assembly without any glue, just to make sure all of our parts are ready. They're all fitting together nicely. So everything should slot together fairly easily and have nice flush corners. Check that all of the panels fit together, put the top on. So now we know all the panels are ready, how they go together. We can begin assembling the electrical kit inside of this. But before we do that, we need to connect two thin panels together. We're going to take the hot glue gun and just stick these together. It's a good idea to have a piece of scrap cardboard just to clean the glue. And we're going to apply a small amount of glue to the panel and press these two together. Make sure that they're all aligned nice and neatly. And with the rear panel for the passive radiator, we're going to glue that into place as well, into the slot. So run a small bead of glue around the outside of the slot. And then place the passive radiator in position. Just press it down lightly. And then once you've done that, put another layer of glue just around the outside. Make sure that it's nice and stuck in there firmly. And now we can begin assembling some of the panels together. Just apply a small amount of glue to the tabs that are going to join together. You only need glue in these faces. Going to stick those together and just hold it for a couple of seconds. You do need to work fairly quickly with this glue before it hardens. And just repeat the process for the right hand panel, remembering to glue all of the interconnecting tab faces. And at this point we don't want to glue any more panels on. Now we're going to put the speakers into the front panel. They're just placed in like so with some glue. You'll notice there might be some burn marks from laser cutting if you're using the wood. Make sure that's going to be placed on the inside so you have a nice finish on the outside. With the glue gun, you're going to run a small bead of glue around the outside of the hole and place the speaker in position, making sure that the cabling is pointing upwards or towards you. And just run an extra little bit of glue around the outside of the speakers when they're in place to hold them nice and firm. And just rubbing the tip of the glue gun on the surface here just to clean it to avoid all these kind of glue strings. Now you can take the electrical kit and start assembling that into the box. We're going to start with the battery holder. This is held in with a small screw. So I take the small screw through the hole on the bottom of the battery holder. and screw it into the small pilot hole that's drilled in the base plate. You take the wireless charge receiver and place it in position. You want this ring to be pointing downwards and the text on the other upside. I'm going to just glue that into position. So run a bit of glue around the outside of the cutout and a little bit of glue into the center. And just press this in position. Now we can take the left-hand panel and install the button. We need to unscrew this nut first. You might need to bend some of the cabling out the way. You want the nut to go down the cabling so that you can install the cabling through the slot on the side. Make sure the panel's the correct way around so that the button will be on the outside when it's installed. And just screw up the nut on the back of the button when it's in position. Now with the USB cable not connected to anything, you can install that into the charge board. This is just going to help us confirm that the position is going to be good for this board. So we're going to do a quick dry install of the side panel with the cable. That will just make sure that we're getting this board in the right position so that we can install the USB cable through the hole on the side. Once we're happy with where this board is going to go, we can remove the USB cable and the panel. In this case, the board is going to sit right up against the side. If you reinstall the USB cable, it can help with positioning the board. So we want to apply a small amount of glue with the board in position, just pressing it right up against the side so it's in line with this corner. Now we can install the wireless charge pad to the other charging board. So connect these two components together, and then we're going to glue this board in position. So again, a small amount of glue underneath, and just press and hold the board onto the base plate. Now we're ready to install the left panel. So apply some glue to the mating tabs. Make sure you get glue on all of the tabs that are going to connect. And press this into position. Now we can just check using the USB cable, everything's going to be able to connect nicely. Now we're ready to install the front panel with the speakers. Put glue on the connecting tabs. And make sure you get all of the connecting tabs. Press it into position. Now we need to connect the speakers to the amplifier. You'll notice there's a left and a right connection point. So obviously make sure you're connecting the right speaker to the right hand connection and the left one to the left connection point, which is marked in writing on the board. Now you can choose to glue this board into position or just leave it loose. Now we're ready to install the battery. So push the battery into the holder. It is quite a snug fit. And now we're just going to test that everything's functioning electrically. So here we're testing wireless charging. You can see the red LED lighting up. We can also test the external charging from the USB. And we can also power on the device. It's important to make sure everything's working correctly before you put the top plate on, close everything up. You might need to maneuver the structure around just to get the top plate to fit nicely. And everything should slot into place. Now we're ready to install the 4 screws. So take the 4 long screws and you're just going to screw these in through the holes in the top. Just be careful not to over tighten these screws because you could split the top plate. And that's the enclosure assembled, and the speaker is ready to go. With the wireless charging, it is quite sensitive to the particular position. You can see if you look through the slot, you'll see the red LED will light up when it's charging and in place. That's installation instructions complete, and I hope you enjoy the speaker.